I'm saying according to what Donald Trump tweeted yesterday on Truth Social, that it's going to be a day which is going to be wrapped in one. That is, the electricity grid and the bridges will be attacked. Now, do you think, you were saying that America might think of backing off? So are they going to back off, or are they going to escalate it further? Because if you remember, just few days ago, he said that America will be striking hard in the coming 2 to 3 weeks. That's what Trump's address to the nation was all about.
I mean, my contention all through has been that the US would not be backing off, and they will go ahead and bash Iran. But, in the last 2-3 days, what really saw was something very interesting. That you had a F-15 plane that fell down that was seemingly brought down by the Iranian forces. And there was a big rescue operation which was launched by the United States of America for search of a pilot. For quite a while, people did not know whether a plane had fallen. They did not know whether the pilot had got into the enemy territory. The questions are now being asked that how did the pilot actually end up in Iran territory, and that too somewhere very close to the Isfahan and other areas where there's tremendous patrolling by Iran, and these are very heavily policed areas and heavily looked after by defense forces. But the truth is that he got in, and there was so much of firepower and air power that was used by US to somehow get into it and take him out. In fact, they found that there was an airfield in Isfahan, unused airfield, which is so difficult to believe, which they used. The buzz is that this was an operation which was launched by US to take out the 200 or 300 kgs of uranium, which has been missing, 400 kgs, I think, of uranium, which has been missing from the place where it should have been in Iran. And that I don't think the US has really succeeded in that enterprise. So the other explanation is that US wanted to use that experience to somehow find whether they can attack Iran this phase or not. So it hasn't really happened, but the fact of the matter is that it is something that has chastened Mr. Trump quite a bit, and he has made to look at other options, which are including a ceasefire, which his good friend General Asim Munir has been able to broker or cobble together. And if that succeeds, he'll be grateful to Mr. Munir, primarily because that gives him another option.
Absolutely. In fact, I was reading that Donald Trump has given an interview to Axios, and where Trump has said that there was a good chance that US and Iran could come to a deal by Tuesday. And also added that if they don't make a deal, I'm blowing up everything over there. This is what he says to Axios. Then he made similar comments in an interview to ABC News, where he said that if Iran doesn't come to a deal, we are blowing up the whole country. Now, these conflicting statements by Donald Trump, I mean, is he interested in totally blowing up Iran, or is he really wanting to back off? And how is Israel going to react in all of this? Do you think that Israel wants to end the war?
I don't think Israel was ever keen to end the war. In fact, all through the submission was that Israel wants US to continue. In fact, they want a long-term war, which diminishes Iran quite a bit and raises the profile of Israel in that region. So if you look at it in the Middle East, there'll be only one power which is still standing, and others would be part of the Abraham Accord of people who are close to Israel. The only two powers that were opposed to Israel was Syria, which has been ground to dust, and now you have Iran, where Iran was in fact far more powerful. And all this while, Israel and Mr. Trump, Mr. Netanyahu, for the last 40 years, had been pleading that they are likely to have a nuclear weapon. So please ensure that they get bombed out. So if that happens, they would not want the government of Tehran to go away. They would want it to be there, because totally delegitimized and diminished, and they would want the war to continue for some time longer. And if that happens, that will be the Israeli objective. If the war comes to an end, it'll be what the Americans want, because they can't carry on further. And people have begun to call Mr. Trump a madcap. Somebody is so unstable. They're also moved to see whether there is a constitutional provision they can bring it down because somebody lost his nuts. and the kind of abuses that he has used and how he's
No,
hurling at the opponent.
U.S. Senator Chris Murphy did mention the fact that I'm wondering why people are not talking about the 25th Amendment, and he's absolutely unhinged. And especially after seeing the post which was put out on Truth Social, that's what Chris Murphy said. So, what do you think is going to be the reaction of the Americans, and especially after this post? Do you think that Donald Trump really is in a position to face the midterm elections?
I think it will take a lot of spin doctoring. They would hope that the war comes to an end and he gets another 4 or 5 months to play around the minds of the people and look. The belief is that they managed to play it up quite a bit, and they think that by rescuing that so-called pilot, they may have covered themselves with glory. But the real truth is still under wraps, because in the fog of war, you don't even know what may have happened. So this is a really tricky issue that people don't talk about it. But the ceasefire, if that happens, that'll be happening at the behest of the Americans. They would be the ones who are very keen that ceasefire happens. And if Asim Munir's proposals have been really accepted, it's because the Americans are keen on a ceasefire. If they are not keen on a ceasefire, it would not have been allowed. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Netanyahu is not the one who would want it. He, as I told you very categorically, he and Israel would want that the war carries on some more time when Iran becomes a shadow of his former self. And then they will want to uphold the flag, enlarge whatever Ambassador Huckabee of the United States has said, enlarge their borders, take over Lebanon, take over some other areas and new territories, and become bigger. The greater Israel dream would be fulfilled if they are allowed to do it.
Right. But I wonder that what he's already having a very low popularity rating in America. And do you think that Donald Trump is of a nature where he's going to admit to the fact that he indulged in war crimes, or he's going to apologize? What can we expect in today's press conference? Is it going to be the announcement of the ceasefire? Is it going to be about America backing off, or is it about some other thing? I have no idea really, because Trump's address to the nation, similarly, everybody was glued to it, but that was more like a status quoist address. So what can we expect today, Sanjay?
Nilu, what he would probably use this occasion is to show that there's been a win for US. That is undeniable, because he cannot even fathom be backing off from a situation where he may be on the defensive. He would say that he has won, he's destroyed, he's met all the objectives, and there are 4 objectives which were stated by Marco Rubio: militarily diminish, every which way. The 4 of them, don't remember all of them, but they were militarily. It had to do with diminishing their power, the power of Iran. And I think they have, in a certain way, succeeded in doing that, despite the fact that Iran continues to shower missiles on its opponents, on Israel, on other countries which do not fall in line. But the truth is that they have no naval power. They have no other power that you can think of. It's a very dismal situation that Mr. Trump has created. And as some people keep on saying, that he only sees what is shown to him, and that is something called, as they say, war porn. And he's used to seeing only that. And that is a failing of the entire system, of not just Mr. Trump and that of other people who are in power, that they don't get to know the truth. And that is where Mr. Trump will prosper. And today, if he has a press conference, he will say that he has won. And Iran would be wise enough to say, no, you haven't won, we have won. So there could be a trade-off on that. And let's see whether that will convince Mr. Trump to sit idle or to bomb Iran once again.
You were also talking about the big rescue mission which America undertook. Now, can there be a possibility where he's going to talk big about this rescue operation deep inside Iran, and how? And there were reports also that America has spent crores and crores of money, and especially in dollars. America has spent a huge amount of money in just rescuing this crew person, so that they can tell back home that, look, we are there for our people, and we confronted all sorts of dangers to save our own people. So could he talk big about, in his press conference tonight, about this rescue mission also?
Yeah, why not? That's something that he has to show and flaunt. But the truth is that people are questioning about how he can do it. In fact, there are some former CIA agents and others who have tweeted that this is not what Mr. Trump could have done. He has spent almost 800 crores in this operation, and he has gone around doing it. Nobody does it like that, and nobody sends so many aircrafts to rescue one person. And initially, there was a belief that the first coded message that they got from the pilot, it seemed to be somebody from the Arab world or somebody from the Persian world talking about Allah and God and all that. So they were not very sure whose message it was. But after they managed to extricate him, then there was a tweet from Mr. Trump on social that we got it, and he probably told the reporter whom he gave an interview. I think it was Fox News he spoke with, and he said we got him and we tried to save him and we will always go. So in a certain way, that incident has made him look better than what he is, and I think it will be easy for him to sell this to his large number of followers in MAGA and other parts of the world.
No, but tomorrow being Monday, like Monday morning, when we are when it's 10:30 p.m. for us, when he's going to hold the press conference, is that press conference to influence the market as well? Because after the Easter Monday morning, when the markets open up, is he going to have something better or good for the markets to feel about or cheer about?
No, surely this will have an impact on the market. But if you remember, just before the U.S. stock market went on a holiday, there was a he had done a similar kind of made a suggestion that the war was ending, and he thought that the stock market will start soaring once again. But nothing really happened. I think people want to see whether he walks the talk, and without that, I don't think it will really make an impact. I think there'll be some serious show of effort when it comes to peace. If it doesn't happen, the stock market will just sit there and watch him till the time some more tangible results are emerging out of the conversation between the two sides.
One last question, Sanjay, before I wind up the show, that so far the strategy of Iran looks very, very focused and centered. They know that they have nothing to lose. They've already lost so much, but it's their grit and determination which is taking them ahead. Now, the final strategy of Iran, does it look like that they are deliberately trying to provoke Donald Trump so that he goes to further extents of indulging in war crimes so that his own popularity dips, the world starts despising him, people start talking more negatively about Donald Trump than what they are already doing? So is this the Iran's final strategy?
Iran's strategy is, first of all, to ensure that Mr. Trump and Mr. Netanyahu are not on the same page. They look in two different directions. They don't get along together. So their attempt is to do that. If they succeed, I think a lot of things will fall in place. And they seem to be heading in that direction. If that doesn't happen, there would be a cause for worry, because Iran has done very well in terms of trying to tell Mr. Trump that we are not afraid of you. You may kill us, but it hardly really matters, because it's a matter of pride and national love for our country. And there have been reports which are coming in the media about how many Iranian nationals are returning to Iran. And some of them, a famous filmmaker has said, the truth is that I have only one passport and one nationality, that's Iranian. So I'm back in Iran. He was given a pardon by the government. So there are innumerable stories of valor, of individual love for the country, and others which are trying to give an impression that the fight is between justice and a country which is violative of the rule of law, which is doing war crimes and doing a great harm to the international order. And I think the world is on the side of Iran at the moment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining on HW News. Thank you.